All right, welcome to day 27 of the Daily Warrior Ritual Challenge. All right, so today it's about continuing to monitor your progress and implement. So today I wanted to expand upon why it's important to continue to monitor your progress and implement. So I've listened to so many people on YouTube in particular, and I've come into some of this older man's content, and he's such a wealth of knowledge, like, and you could tell whoever learned from him and just like is still teaching this stuff, it's timeless information that no matter what time period you're in, it's just so applicable. So the man I'm talking about is I don't want to mess up his name. um Let me just make sure. Okay, is Bob Proctor. So you could look up his works. He speaks a lot about this, but I just wanted to speak a little more on speak about what he speaks about in terms of repetition and the power of repetition and how powerful it could be in your life if you just consistently, yeah, it may seem boring or stale at times, but freshen it up, but still do it repetitively and realize that it's okay to feel like it's you're doing something over and over again, and there's power in repetition. And Bill Proctor, he has a lot of videos on YouTube, and I implore you to search and look into his stuff if that's something that interests you. But um so here are some of the key points from Bill Proctor as far as repetition. So repetition is an essential part of the learning process. It helps to embed new habits and behaviors into our minds. Repetition creates new neural pathways in our brains and helps us internalize new ideas. Without repetition, it's difficult to retain new information and make it a part of our long term memory. Consistent repetition can help us train our minds to think and behave in a way that is aligned with our desired outcomes. Repetition reinforces positive behaviors and habits, making them more automatic and easier to maintain over time. Repetition is a powerful tool for personal growth and success, and is essential for achieving our goals and realizing our full potential. So, if you have been someone that's been consistently putting in the time to work on yourself by showing up for this challenge. Like, take me out of this equation, take out all of the things that externalize it, but and realize that this is showing up for yourself and taking the time to just do something repeatedly. And Bob Proctor, he definitely he hit it on the head when it comes to realizing that just by repeating things over and over and over again, practice makes perfect. That's where that saying comes from. It's like doing the things that repeatedly may feel foreign to us, but eventually it could become second nature. And again, I've spoke about Kobe Bryant and even Beyonce in a in previous video on this challenge. But those are two prime examples, regardless of if they're in the industry, whatever. Who cares? Who cares? Like, we all know there's things that have been done in this world and or society, and it matters. And I'm not saying to write those things off, but it's like when it comes to our learning process, we shouldn't let those things be the own standing factor of why we cannot learn from other people's experience. So I don't let those things be a reason why I can't do something because X, Y, and Z. You know, there's a lot of horrific things that happen in this world, but a lot of the time, sometimes things that come from the horrible can really bring to light the things that we need to pay more attention to. So that's what I mean by I don't care. Is I don't care is because we put too much time into the negative aspects or parts of people's whatever it is that they're doing, but we're not paying attention to the whole. What made them to where they're at? And it's like there's certain aspects and parts of them that we could utilize for our own um development. So that's how I see it. Not letting these things determine based on other people's situations, and we don't really have an insight on that. So I don't really want to go into like stuff like that, but it's just like let's not let those things limit us. But it's like take a page from their book. It's like regardless of them being in the industry, this and that, it's like you think just because Kobe was a part of the NBA that mattered based off of him being able to make all those jump shots. Like he busted his ass like to be able to consistently shoot it at any distance that he wanted to. And same for Beyonce, regardless of if you agree if she could sing, dance, whatever. She put in hard work and dedication and sacrifice so much. Like it's so much you could learn from what people are doing, regardless of if you agree with their practices or not. Like, you know, at the end of the day, we're all here to learn from something and to experience life. And we should never just pass judgment on people just because of the things that they've done. We all have something to answer to. And who are you to be the checks and balances of someone else's decisions? We're not. We only should be caring and worrying about and working on the things that we can create and or make impact and control, and not worrying about all of the other things. Like, yeah, they may have some type of importance in a certain way, but ultimately that shouldn't be something that factors into what it is that you do with your life. And we can learn from all experiences. This is what we're here for, to be able to learn from experiences. So this is why I talked about Beyonce and Kobe Bryant, because their work ethic, nobody can never say they didn't show up. They weren't the first ones there, the last ones to leave. Like their work ethic supersedes a lot of the things. I won't say it supersedes the negative connotations that are tied to certain industries, but it supersedes certain stigmas. So, oh, you know, like they got to where they're at because they did this and that, and maybe they did do it, but they still showed up. Like regardless, you still have to put in that effort, or it's just going to be lackluster, and people will notice. Like the audience will definitely notice if you are bullshitting and you're in it for a check and you're not putting your all or your dedication into whatever project that you're working towards. So it's like they had to put in the work to be able to really show people that this is what they really genuinely care for and want to do, you know. So repetition is key. Learning from people that are doing the things that you're doing. You may not necessarily agree with their practices and or the things that they've done, but you can still study qualities that are definitely something that you may want to utilize, and don't let what other people say cloud your better judgment on what it is that you do in your life. You know, your learning process should never be up for debate. So don't put it out there as if it is. And if there are people that are closed minded, that's not willing to look beyond just that, you know, it's we all do things that not be, we may not feel people can connect to. And we should never wag our fingers at someone just because they've done something that you may not have done. None of us has a right to pass judgment, and anybody that are on their high horse, I implore you to get off that high horse and walk a mile in that person's shoes and tell me how you would have done it, since you feel the need to pass judgment and or feel like you're better than, or act like you're better than, or sound, like it's just take a mile in someone else's shoe and see how far and how long you could last in that and be like, before you realize that maybe you should have shut your mouth. Um, but I'll get back to what I was talking about. It's just sometimes, people are just so judgmental. It's just like we're here to learn. Like just learn, grow, realize that people have errors in their ways, and yeah, people should be held accountable, but at the end of the day, it's not up to us to judge people. But anyway, back to Bob Proctor. Repetition is key. This is why a lot of this challenge is consistently repeated. And yeah, I may implement different things or different ways to think about certain things, but ultimately it's basically the same. Is because repetition is key to be able to create the habits and or life that we want based off of our habits and our routines and the things that we're constantly putting our attention towards. So um okay. Again, I hope this helps. This is day 27 of the Daily Warrior Ritual Challenge. And I will speak to you all on day 28. Learn ourselves, love thyself. Speak to you all soon. Bye.